right, well, hello and welcome back to Tax Goddess Live with the redheaded tax goddess herself, Shauna Wegerlein. This podcast exists to educate, entertain, and inspire entrepreneurs, business owners, and all the other crazy, fantastic, passionate, self-employed people that are out there. Today is Tuesday, April 24th, and I am your tax goddess, Shauna, joining you live here today from sunny Scottsdale. So welcome to Tax Goddess Live. So Tim, you ready to do this?
Of course I am.
Look, because you're always ready. Look, you were doing like a little jogging thing before we even started.
This stuff.
Rah! We love it. So Tim is an expert in digital marketing, lead generation, and the fitness industry. If you can see, Profit, Tim owns the company, Profit Marketing Solutions. So I'm so excited to have Tim here with us today. So Tim, what is the one most important thing that our audience is going to get out of today's broadcast? Why should they stay and listen to us?
They should stay and listen to us because I'm going to give them, and you probably, some actionable things that they can do just right away to start marketing their business that they probably weren't even aware about.
Dig it. I like things. I like learning new things. So this is exciting. I'm so excited. All right. So fantastic. So Tim, give us a few statistics that might blow our listeners' minds about today's topic.
Well, to be honest with you, with all the rage being Facebook marketing, a couple months back, I went back and looked at what kind of, there's a KPI called CPM, and what CPM is the cost to show your ad or your whatever video for 1,000 times, okay? And so back in 2014, 15, kind of when Facebook ads were all just coming out, CPM cost for me here in Scottsdale, where we are, to show my ad was about $12. $12 to show it to 1,000 people. Not bad, right? So we show ads. This year, 2018, and even growing, it's in like the 60s. So we're talking 4 or 5 times the cost to market on Facebook. So that blew my mind. I don't know if it blows your mind, but it just tells me one thing: it's getting pretty saturated, and we need to diversify.
Ooh, diversify. Now you're talking CPA language. I love it. Yep. Okay, yeah, that's actually really kind of scary. Why do you think that it's jumped so much over the past few years?
It's 100% supply and demand, right? When there was nobody advertising there, you can get your message out for cheap. Now with all the demand of everybody's trying to market to your area, cost goes up. They can do it. So when Facebook's a public company, they're trying to squeeze every dollar out of every little thing they do. And the inventory of ad space is dwindling, right? So you've got, the news feed and the messenger, and they try to add little like placements, but there's so many people wanting to put their message out there. It's just, the inventory is so low.
And there you go. And this is why your industry just changes on a day-to-day basis, because if you don't know this, you're still advertising on Facebook, but obviously today you're going to be telling us all the new places that we need to be.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Things to do, for sure.
Dig it. All right. So Tim, before we dive into all of the business stuff, I like to get to know our guests a little bit more on the personal nature. So tell me about your life growing up.
Well, growing up, Mesa, Arizona, hometown boy. I grew up out here. Medium household income. Like my parents are still married today, so I would say pretty straight and narrow, average kind of upbringing. I was in sports quite a bit. I was a straight A student. I was the captain of this, captain of that. I was always out there doing stuff. So I don't know, good kid, if you want to put it that way. I didn't get into too much trouble. I try not to, at least. Lots of sports growing up in my household. Lots of sports.
Very good. So what was your favorite sport?
Well, it turned out to be football, but my parents didn't let me play football until I was in high school. So like while these kids are doing Pee Wee and Pop Warner, all these different, my parent, like I couldn't do it. They wouldn't let me play it. So it was all about soccer, baseball, things like that. And then when I finally got into high school, I got bigger as a person, and I just loved football. I took it all the way through college and actually played into arena football for a year or two. So
really, that's awesome. I didn't even know that. How cool is that?
It was cool getting paid to play. It was fun.
Oh, darn. For a year, yeah. Cool. Well, so what is your favorite hobby now?
I stayed into that, I own a gym. So I'm in the gym right now. I'm in the, in the office, in the gym. So working out 100%. I got to stay active. If it's hiking, sports. We're going to be playing kickball as a gym, so that's fun for me. Hitting the gym and just staying active. That's
Dig
me.
it. Okay, so now I just have to ask, okay, so if anyone of our listeners is resident to Arizona, how do we get on the kickball team? Because that sounds like way too much fun.
Kickball, well, we do it like twice a year. We'll do something. We'll do volleyball. We'll do kickball, but it's for the gym. It's for the members. Anybody's invited. So you look at our Facebook page. Look at, if you're on our email list, you get an email about it. But we're gonna make it fun. It's something called slosh ball. So there's some beer involved.
Oh my! All right. Well, I can't wait to see the videos from that. I've got to watch the YouTube channel.
No videos.
No videos. None of that. All right. All right. So what is the most dangerous thing that you've ever done?
Dangerous. Well, to be honest with you, I almost drowned in the bottom of the. I guess what oceans where Puerto Rico is? Where's Puerto Rico? I'm not good at geography. You are.
The Caribbean. The Caribbean.
It's in the Caribbean. I was growing up. My parents were my dad was doing a project there, and we were learning how to scuba dive. So PADI certification. I was with my sister. We're out in the middle of the ocean. We're down on the bottom. And when you start, I don't know if you know anything about scuba diving, but when you start, you do several dives in a row. And because of I guess acclimation and the bends and all these things with nitrogen in your blood, you have to go to the deepest dive first. We took it to 100 feet. My first time ever doing, we were in a pool for a day. Now I'm 100 feet underwater in the ocean.
The ocean.
And I ran out of air. I ran out of air fast. Like everybody's swimming along and I'm looking at my little gauge and I'm out. So I had to grab my sister's thing. They have another hose on the tank and I had to grab it and take her air and I had to go up to the top. I didn't realize it. I started breathing and it just stopped and I was like, shit.
Well, 100 feet under.
I was 14 years old. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So yeah, that was pretty dangerous.
I am super pleased you are here with us today, Tim. That's crazy. That's crazy. So are you still doing scuba diving or that was enough running out of air?
We continued it because I got this, I had to get the certification, but then I ended up scuba diving one other time when I went to Australia, in high school, and then that's it. I haven't scuba dived since, it's been years. So,
there you go. There you go. Well, it makes sense a little bit. Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was breathing so fast, the bubbles were huge, I was...
Oh no!
Hyperventilating, and the air just gone.
Everybody
else had a half a tank left, and I was done.
Oh gracious! Well, we are very happy to have you with us here today, Tim. That's a very handy thing. Okay. Yes, just slightly. Okay. Let's see. What is the book that you gift the most to other people?
Well, it's a recent book. It's from kind of a mentor of mine. It's called .com Secrets. You may have heard of it, Russell Brunson. It talks about, digital marketing and escalation of how to take people through the cycle, through the funnel of your business. And I learned a lot. I read that in 15. And I have also read, I have a whole bookshelf over here, but obviously E-Myth was huge. And anybody that's starting in business, you got to read that book. I'm sure you've read it.
Absolutely.
I've probably read it 3 or 4 times, right?
Yep.
And you kind of read it and you learn something new each time. So I've handed out both of those books at least 10 times each.
Okay. So listeners, definitely those 2 books, very important. And I agree, E-Myth, especially starting a business, because it's all about systems. And without systems, nothing works. It all collapses. So I'm with you.
Yep, 100%.
Absolutely. Okay, so one of the questions that I have for you, and this is one of my favorite things, is what is your pattern? What do you believe makes you successful?
Oh, yeah. I realized a while back I'm different. I'm different than a lot of people. There's a lot of people that want something but then don't do it. I'm somebody that can learn something very fast and implement it very fast. And you hear this a lot. You'll go to a seminar, you'll hear the expert up on stage speaking and giving you the exact step-by-step thing to do. Everybody goes home and nobody does a damn thing. You hear that a lot?
Yeah.
I'm the 1% person. Well, then I'll do it right there in my seat and get it done while I'm there, or I'm at the seminar. So I realized that makes me not normal. I thought everybody did that. I thought that's why I was there, is to learn something and to do it, but that's not true. I didn't realize. So That being said, a lot of people are afraid to share free advice and free things that they're doing in their business because they think everybody's going to go out and do it. I used to be that way. I used to think, here's exactly how I do everything. Do it for yourself. I wouldn't tell anybody that because I afraid they were going to go do it and then I wouldn't have any work. You know what I mean? But what I've learned is nobody does that. Everybody's like, great, it sounds awesome, and then they go back to their old habits.
Well, and hopefully, better yet, if it's something that you do, they pay you for it to let you do it because you're an expert in it.
And that's a whole marketing strategy, by the way. So you've got these expert groups and, giving out blogs and free advice and things like that. I used to be the guy that wouldn't share anything, keep it close to the chest because I didn't want to run out of work. I didn't want to tell people how to do what I was doing. Just like you, being a CPA, you could tell everybody all the tax breaks and everything, but they're still not going to do it, right? So I got over that really fast. I started sharing everything. I would go in these groups on Facebook and blogs. I would share everything, and instantly I would get more business because, great, Tim, that's awesome. Will you do it for me? And so that's a whole nother strategy that I've kind of learned how to do as well. So,
ooh, we're starting to get into the 5 tips, the 5 things we're not doing. So sharing to the 99% of people that would sit in the seat, listen to the information, but not actually proceed with doing it. That's one of your favorite strategies, is what I'm hearing.
It is, because they don't do it. I thought everybody would do it because I do it. Like you would tell me something to do, and you've done this, go do this, and I do it.
Yeah.
But people in general don't do it. People are lazy. I don't know. People are lazy. It's too easy not to do something. It's too hard to do something, right? So
you got it.
I just learned real fast that I'm different than people.
So do you think that's a piece of what makes you such a successful entrepreneur?
100%. I can see something. I'm an opportunist. I've created businesses out of opportunity. Like that's how Profit started. That's how Profit started. I was doing things for myself because I needed to drive in business to my own brick and mortar fitness facility. I would share it in my groups, guys, this is what I'm doing. Here's how I do it. And I would start getting emails and calls and messages from people. Hey, will you do that for me? Will you do that for me? And I was like, sure, I'll do it. And so I wouldn't even charge anybody. I would just go run their funnels and run their ads for them, and they would get a bunch of clients. And opportunity, the light bulb went off and said, wow, more people need to do this. Even though I can do it, I realized they don't know how, they don't want to, or whatever it is. So I created a business out of that. And then 2 years, 3 years later, now still rocking and rolling.
Still, it's exploding. Profit is exploding. And I agree with you 100%. This is one of those little pieces. And you're right. We see it on the tax side all the time. Here's what you do. Okay, great. And it sits on a shelf and nothing ever happens. So it makes complete sense to me. Okay, so now I want to bring up, because you mentioned businesses coming out of opportunities. One of my favorite little side businesses of yours is your t-shirts. Can you explain the t-shirt thing? Explain the t-shirt thing.
GymShareClub.com, and it's more of a hobby, but it does generate profit. It's more of a hobby. I don't put a lot of attention to it, but Gym Share Club was a way that I could. Well, first off, I like T-shirts. I like gyms. I like fitness, and there's specific shirts I like. Like when I work out, there's a specific brand and fit, and the way the print is and all this stuff. And I knew other people would like it. Long story short, we created the business. We have one gym featured per month. We create a unique, design for the shirt, and we have a subscriber base, so it's a subscription model. Every month they get a surprise shirt from our featured gym. It's a real gym in the United States. Cool, unique design. The gym wins, we win, our subscribers win, and I earn new business that way. And I can use that as leverage when I'm signing up a new client for a gym, like to do marketing with us. I could feature them on the Gym Share Club as well. So it's a complementary business to what I'm doing.
I love it. And one of my favorite bits about that business for you is that basically, as you said, this was a hobby. This is something that you wanted. And so for all of our listeners out there who, maybe they have a W-2 job, they're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, you don't have to create this huge, big business. Mm-hmm. You can start with taking something that's a hobby, something that you love. And if other people love it too, you can create a business. You can grow something from that if that's what you want to do. Yeah.
And when you're doing something you enjoy, you're not really working, right? So it's like, it's fun, I don't know.
Absolutely. What's that famous saying? If you do what you love, you'll never work another day in your life, right?
That's it.
And there you go. I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's see. What other questions do I want to ask you here? You're getting me all ramped up. I'm absolutely like loving this. Okay, what has been your most worthwhile investment of time or money?
Worthwhile investment of time and money.
Yeah.
Coaching, 100%. I've spent as much as $25,000 a year to learn and be in the same room and ask directly to the experts and people where they've succeeded already. I'm learning from them. I've never lost when I've hired a coach, a mentor. I've gone in mastermind groups, and I don't care how much I spent, because $25,000 for just 12 months of a mastermind, and I did it 2 years in a row. Like, that's how much value I got. The very first meeting I went to, the very first huge investment of the $25,000 a year mastermind I was in,
yeah.
I learned one thing, which was how to run a webinar, and I generated it was $48,000 on one webinar, paid for 2 years of this thing on the very first meeting. Of course, I'm going to continue to do that. Like, when you align yourself with the people that are already successful, that have already done what you want to do, you're going to win. You're going to win. It doesn't matter how, like, if it's 100,000, you're going to make 200,000. If it's 25,000, you'll make 50,000. It just happens. So a lot, like, that's my best investment. That's what I would recommend to anybody. Find the people that are already successful, either model what they're doing or learn directly from them and pay them for it.
And there we go. And I think that goes to a very important piece, with business owners. Sometimes we hear, well, I'm holding my money, I'm trying to protect the little egg that I've built or whatever. But I mean, look at the return you just got. It's 100%, 200% return. You spent the money, you got it back 100 double, right? So
in the first meeting. So, I mean,
you saw 2 years worth of meetings in that.
I was 23 months even into that thing, and I learned so many things. And it really opens your eyes when there's other successful people, like to make $1 million in a year. I don't have to actually do face-to-face interaction. I can make $1 million online twice. To think about that's crazy. Now people are doing that $1 million in a month. Now they're doing $1 million in a week. Russell, the guy who runs it, did $3 million in an hour on stage.
Ooh, there you go.
Just the barriers are down, like, so that 4-minute mile that nobody could hit. As soon as the first person hit that 4-minute mile, dozens of people hit the 4-minute mile. So it's just aligning yourself with really successful people and learning from them and being humble about it. Don't, going in just say, I want to learn from you. I want to, I know where I want to be, but I'm not there yet. Like, what can you teach me, or how can I pay you to teach me? Or if they already have a group, join it.
And there
Join
you go.
the damn group, yeah.
And there you go. So get off the couch, be part of the 1%, to get up and go look, go search, go find.
Yeah, and do.
Dig it and do. Follow up with the do. I love it. I love it. Okay, fantastic. All right, so let's see. Major mistakes in your industry that you see people make that they need to fix.
Well, in the industry that I'm in, which is fitness, I market, my client is a fitness, like a gym owner. That's my client. And unfortunately, gym owners, if you take that stereotype, it's pretty damn true. Meatheads, they're not all meatheads, but women too, and they're just young. It's a really kind of a low barrier of entry. A lot of people get into the fitness business they like to work out, and they're all of a sudden now they're going to run a brick and mortar fitness business because it's kind of cool to do, and I want to do that, and they don't look at it as a business, and that's the biggest mistake they can make. They think, I'm just going to get word of mouth referrals, and I'm going to do networking events, and I'm going to get 150 people in my gym, and I'm going to make $1 million. No, it just doesn't happen. So treating the business as a real business, a real career. Why do something if you're only going to do it half-assed, or just don't do it at all? So that would be the biggest mistake I see, is that they have good intentions, but they don't look at it like a real business with all the systems in place, the attraction systems, the conversion systems, delivery systems, ascension systems. These are all the things that I teach when I'm talking to them. Like, these are all things that you need to have in your business, and if you don't have half of them, like, how are you going to be around in 3 years? So most businesses fail. What's the stat on that? Failure?
80% of businesses fail within the first 1 year. If you make it past 3 years, it drops to 60%. And if you make it past 5 years, it's only 20% failure after that. So 80% are failing in the first year.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
look at it as a business. It's a real business, or don't get into it. Like, make sure you're ready. And I'm not trying to scare people from opening businesses, because I did it. I had no idea what I was doing. I was 29 years old. I opened a gym because kind of for the same reasons, but I went at it as a business versus a hobby, I guess. Like, a lot of trainers will open gyms because they're trainers and they want to, work, they've got a couple of wealthy clients that kind of helped them open the gym, and they don't know what they're doing. I went into it as I didn't want to be the trainer in the gym ever. I would train people, I would sell people, but now I'm operating the gym on 4 hours a week, and it runs itself, right? So that's a real business versus being self-employed, right?
Yep. And yep. Check all the boxes. Absolutely. And I threw my hands up because the 4-Hour Workweek is my favorite book. It's the one I gift. And you've hit it. You've hit it with the business. And so that's awesome. So
right.
Yay! Yeah. This is why people should be learning from you, and this is why people should listen to today's podcast, right? This is why it's so important.
It's really weird. I've got more and more people coming to me that have found me on other podcasts, which is cool, because this is one of the poles in the water that I talk about in the Ascension systems, that I've actually partnered up with 2 other people that are in my marketing groups to create what we call a TwoComa Success Academy. This is a coaching group for 90 days. You can join it, and we'll help you build the foundation to a 7-figure business, usually online. Most of these clients are online.
Yeah.
We have some like, hairstylist in there. We have an optometrist in there. But we've got about a dozen. We're starting in about a week. So we're just looking for businesses that want to scale and grow and need to get all the systems right here put together.
Ooh.
It's all drawn out, nice and neat, but systems isn't sexy. It's not a sexy word. Oh, systems. Yeah, beep, when you put $1 in and it goes through the system and it's $10 at the end of the day, that's pretty cool.
That's right? The sexy bit. Yeah. Love it. Well, so let me ask you a question, because you just held up a diagram. And I know I personally am a very visual learner. And to me, when I'm trying to explain a system to someone else, I know that they've truly got it when they can draw it for me on a piece of paper, and it is what we need to do. Like, they are following the system. Are you a visual person? Is that why you have diagrams? Like, tell us about the diagrams.
Well, this diagram right here is something that I kind of put together that it made everything clear for me. And all this really is, and I don't even know what I'm calling this thing yet. The 4 circles.
I feel like we're learning about super secret systems here.
It's something that I put together, and basically at the end of the day, it's the 4 systems you need to have in your business to, what do you want to call it? Scale, grow, foundational, be successful. I don't know, but here they are. Here's the 4. Okay. Every business needs to have these. How they work in your business is going to be different. Number 1, attraction systems, marketing. How are you marketing? How are you becoming an authority? What are you doing? These are all the poles in the water that I talk about, and there's dozens of them. And Facebook ads is one of them, right? That's one. Attraction systems. Okay, so once you attract somebody, how do you convert them? That's your conversion system. That's your sales. Sales systems, like what is it done one-on-one in person? Is it done one-on-one on the phone? Is it an application process into a group close? Is it a webinar close? Is it closed online? Is it conversion online? Is it done through email? How do you get somebody to give you money? That's your conversion system. Next is delivery systems. This is your fulfillment. Like, how do you fulfill on what you promised that person that you just sold, right? For me, it's we train them in the gym. This is my team. My team is my system. For Profit, it's my other team. The team delivers the assets and the marketing campaigns, and that's our delivery system, fulfillment, okay? The last system is Ascension. Ascension systems is you get somebody out your core offer, how do you get them into your high price ticket stuff? So maybe you're doing their taxes today, but eventually you want to get them into tax strategy. What's the process to get somebody up the ladder? It's the Ascension systems. And as they cross over each other, there's things that happen. For instance, when you're marketing, your attraction systems and your conversion systems interlock, you create more revenue, right? Marketing, sales, more revenue. When your conversion systems and your delivery systems interlock or cross over, you can sell and deliver. That gives yourself more time. When your delivery systems interact with your ascension system, that's more return on investment, right? You're ascending somebody up.
Yeah.
And when your ascension and your attraction system interline, that's more retention. So you keep the people longer because you've got more services to give them. So that's my model. I put this together. It's nice and neat and clean. So
I love it.
How each business does it is, it's obviously different. How you sell versus how I sell, your conversion systems and mine are different.
When you were talking about you have a hairstylist in the TwoComa Club, I mean, that's going to be extremely different. That's a very personal, like, I'm cutting your hair, very different than online marketing systems. So
right.
Very cool.
We're creating hers for her, and she's already very successful, but she wants to level up. So for instance, what she is in with me is technically an ascension system. She's paying me more money to learn even more things from me. So she's going up my value ladder as profit marketing. So same thing's happening in everybody's business, but until you really look at it that way, it's just a big mess, I would think.
Well, and I'm sitting here listening to you like this, my expert here in marketing, but almost every fifth word, systems. It really is just driving home the point. You've got to have systems, and if you don't, you have a hobby, not a business.
Right.
Done.
Let the systems run your business.
I love it.
And when you're really clear, and you personally have really great system. I see how you operate. So your systems are operating your business. You're not doing every single little thing in the business. You have a team that runs it. You've got, when this happens, do this. When this happens, do this. This person's coming into our ecosystem. This is the next step for them. This is the next step for them. And so, yeah, I mean, that's how people are successful. It just runs that way.
It's systems. I love it. Okay, so anybody listening, I want you to write on a piece of paper, stick it on your computer, put it on a sticky note, do something. Systems.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a system for something, take 5 minutes, take a breather as an entrepreneur from working in the business to working on the business, and see if you can figure out a system. And if you can't, reach out and find a mastermind group. Find somebody smarter than you, somebody that already has done it, to be able to help you build a system. That's awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Love it. All right. Well, my goodness, we have covered so much stuff here. So the biggest mistake now at the very beginning, we talked about going into some of the other things that people should be doing, right? We kind of went off on a systems rant, which both you and I love it, but let's talk about these other things. Let's talk about this marketing other stuff that people need to be doing. So we talked about Facebook and how it's effectively basically useless at this point.
Well, it's not useless if you're getting an ROI. So that's the first thing. If you spend maybe 2015, you spent $5 to acquire somebody, and now it's $50. But as long as you're still making a return on your investment, it's still an avenue you should be in. I mean, whenever it's funny, whenever I ask a new client how much they're willing to spend on marketing, I've got four answers. The first one's $0 to like $1,000 a month, $1,000 to $2 to $10, and then the last one is as much as I can as long as there's an ROI. The ones that answer it that way get it. The ones that say 0 to 500, they're probably not a good client.
And there we go.
It's just marketing's not an expense. It's 100% an investment.
If it's done correctly.
Well, yeah, if it's done correctly. If you're getting a return on investment, it's an investment. If it's just an expense and it's going out the door, yeah, there you go. Marketing could be an expense. The done right part is the key. All right, so let's talk about just a bunch of things. I don't even know how many there are, but let's just ramble them off. Okay. Everybody should have a website still. You should have a website. On your website, it should be very informational, but you should also have some kind of way to generate leads. Leads are done through giving away something for free, like a lead magnet, a free report, a tip sheet, a video series, but basically in exchange for their contact information, you're going to give them something of value. What it is could be a million things. On the website, you should have a blog. A blog is where you're giving out your free information And I still really think blogs are very, very important. For a while, they were the rage, then they were nothing, and now they're everything. And the reason they're everything is a blog doesn't just mean to be words on a page. It could be a video, it could be a recipe, it could be anything you want it to be of content, but it lives on your website as a blog page, and there's a million things you can do from this point. But within every single blog, you should have calls to action, schedule an appointment, download our free guide, click here for our $97 offer that's a digital product. But you're driving traffic back to your website for a lot of reasons. And the number one reason is it's the home base. Everything lives there. You can retarget. What is retargeting? Have you ever gone to, let's just say, Home Depot online and you looked at a rug or something, right? And then you're over on YouTube, and next thing you know, on the sidebar, there's a freaking picture of that rug. Then you go on Google paid search or Google search, and next thing you know, the rug's there. Facebook ads, there's a rug. All of a sudden, well, how'd they do that? Well, it's called retargeting. And when you get into e-commerce and things like that, you can get really, really like exact product retargeting. But just for instance, for business, you can just retarget somebody with your core offer. Maybe your core offer is a strategy call. Maybe your core offer is a teeth whitening or something if you're a dentist. It could be whatever I shouldn't say core offer, I should say your front end offer, your low barrier, something to get them into your ecosystem. So retargeting, the only way to get people retargeted is to get them pixeled, and the only way to get them pixeled is to send them to a site that has a pixel, and that would be your website, your blog. Okay?
And all of a sudden, my brain went from following to, oh my goodness, tech language about marketing, following. So
I'm sorry. I know that's techno babble, but let's just, so like, it's like when you go to Home Depot online, you see the rug, and that's how that happens. So it's basically.
So it's like a tracking mechanism or something in the background, this pixel thing that you're talking about? Okay.
You've heard of cookies, like, hey, clear your cookies. Yeah. So it's just a little thing that tracks your IP address, and anytime you're again show up on another website, it knows that it's the same person kind of thing.
Got it.
So, yeah, I get all, I know I have to stop doing that.
Well, we love it, though. It's clear that you're an expert, but for us poor little CPAs and entrepreneurs and hair cutters out there, we have no idea what you're talking about. So, okay, keep going. Tell us more about the rug.
Let's go a little deeper into Facebook for a second. Facebook page. Obviously, if you're a business, you probably have a Facebook page. What you're doing on the page does still matter. It's not like it's completely gone. They do want you to pay to play the game of Facebook now. So you could be pushing out great content, nobody's going to see it. So boosting posts of relevance. And relevance, I mean something that maybe you post and then you wait a couple hours to see if there's any interaction. If it already starting to have interaction, throw $20 on it, run it for 3 days, see what happens. But it's not just posting, it's posting things with calls to action. Like, why would you can give information, but if they don't know how to take action after they see that, then what are you doing? So you should have a call to action, which means, like, to schedule a consultation with me, click here, and it takes them to your calendar or whatever that call to action is. Every piece of content you push out should have some way for somebody to give you money or their information.
That right there, I want you to repeat that because I think that is super, super important. Say it again.
Yeah, every piece of content that you push out should have a way for somebody to give you money or at least their information so you can continue the process with them.
Got it.
Too many times you just see stuff getting posted and it really doesn't mean anything, like a meme or anything like that, just because they feel like you have to post something. But even if you had a meme and then you had your trial offer down there in the bottom corner, like how do they continue the process with you? All right, so the next thing that's really hot, a hot trend that not a lot of people are doing yet, I really recommend it, is your free Facebook groups, not pages, groups. And in your groups, I've got one called Marketing Talk with Fitness Professionals. Just started about a month and a half ago. We got about 400 or 500 gym owners in there now. What do you do in those groups? So for me, it makes really sense to call my group Marketing Talk with Fitness Professionals, because my client is a fitness professional
who's probably looking for marketing and sales help. Yep. So, yeah.
And so I cultivate and, do things in that group to make myself known as the expert and I give them information, tips, tricks, everything's free. Again, 100% free, no sales pitch there. But eventually, people are going to reach out to you. Eventually, you can pitch them. It's about like 8 or 9 pieces of value before you start telling them, hey, by the way, I've got this free ebook or something for
the whole jab, 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 right hook, right? That then you're finally pitching something.
And it's free, so you can, if there's somebody that's your friend that is a potential client, you can add them right to that group for free. But they wouldn't even know it unless you know they're in the group and you're starting to talk to them. So for, let's just say for you and your business, tax strategies for small businesses, tax break strategies for small businesses. You got a small group now. You're looking for small businesses. You tell people in the group, hey guys, once we get to say 1,000 people or 500 or 100, I'm going to do a training, and in the training we're going to talk about X, Y, and Z, and it's just bribes, and so they can start adding their friends that could use this help, and next thing you know, you get this little tribe going, and it's awesome. It's really awesome, and guess what? It doesn't cost you anything to do that.
So who's managing? Because I'm listening to you talk, you know, as a business owner myself, I'm listening to you talk about, then you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this. I mean, do you hire an assistant who helps you? Like, to me, it sounds like you never sleep. How much time are you spending on all of these things?
It's a good question. I'm very involved in that group because I want to see that one work, and that is so important to me because those are my clients. Like, everybody in that group, if there's 400 people, 390 of them could be a client of mine.
That's a huge return.
Yeah. So let me just, and if I'm going to be the expert, and if I'm going to be, you know, like I can't have my project manager or one of my, like I can't have my copywriter going in there and writing stuff unless it's in my name, right? If they do it on my profile, it makes it look like me.
But even then, what if they say something that isn't true to how you would sound or whatever?
Right. Yeah. So you just got to be really authentic. I think everybody kind of sees through stuff today. Everybody's looking for that transparency. Everybody's looking for that real person they want to connect with. And I feel like that if you just got to be you in there. If you cuss in real life, that's where you're cussing. If you say things specific to you and like your, you know, like time to grind or whatever your little terms that you use in real life, then use them in there. And you either attract or detract. The people that are attracted to that are going to always be attracted to you. Yeah. And the ones that you detract, then they're not going to be a good client anyway. You ever had those clients that aren't good clients? You don't want them anyway. So free Facebook group marketing is hot, and it makes a lot of sense right now. Tons of sense.
Well, so what do you know, there's this whole big thing that's just come out about more Facebook, and information's been leaked and it's being purchased by all sorts of people. I mean, you know, I'm hearing from a lot of business owners like, that's it, I'm done, I'm fleeing Facebook.
Okay.
So, you know, people that just aren't even going there anymore, now what? How do you find those people?
You know, it's really interesting. Your clients are on there. Your customers are on there. I don't care how many people leave. There's billions and billions of people on Facebook. How many billions of people do you need to be on Facebook to have your 150 clients there, or 200, or 1,000 clients? Like, I don't care if 10% of them leave. There's still 90%. I mean, there's so many people there. But if they're worried about leaking information, I have a theory. I mean, I think these phones right here are probably listening to every word we're saying. Anyway, like, what? Are you going to get rid of your phone? I think we're just
part of society now.
You have an Amazon Echo?
Yep, I got one sitting on the desk right there.
It's listening to you right now.
Yeah.
The reason I know this, it's really weird. You know, we were talking about mattresses at the kitchen table the other day, and our phone's right there. The next day, Amazon's showing us pictures about mattresses. Same thing that happened the next day. I was talking about my receiver on my entertainment system going out. Deal of the day is a receiver. It's not a coincidence. It's not. Like, I don't know who's doing what, but it's not a coincidence. It's just technology is listening. It is what it is.
So in other words, if you're worried, go buy a cabin in the middle of nowhere with no internet, no power, just be done with it. Okay, well, I didn't mean to derail the subject, but, you know, it's a question that I've been being asked because of security concerns. So
I wouldn't even, your clients are still going to be there. Unless you want to get off yourself, then that's
different
a
issue.
Story. Yeah, then you're going to have to do the other things.
Well, so keep telling us about other things then. Tell us some more.
Well, you know, you've got, there's a lot of things. Email marketing is still not dead. I know it's just 20 to 30% open rates, but the more you offer things via email, jab, jab, right hook, you can sell via email. I grew my whole business, my whole gym through email when I first opened 2008, 9, and 10 was I'd do email campaigns and that would drive in clients. It still works. I know it's 8 years ago still, but I still can generate. I just ran a campaign that launched yesterday. We've already made, I think, $1,000 in 24 hours just from selling a $97 product on email. I haven't even marketed it yet.
Cool.
So email marketing. Let's see what else. Oh, I've got the list here. A lot of it is on social, by the way.
So we talked about Facebook. What about like Twitter and YouTube and LinkedIn? How are you feeling about those?
YouTube's great. Video is huge. It's always been huge. I think YouTube's the second largest search engine next to Google, which owns YouTube anyway. So tutorials, webinars, things like that you just want to push out to your audience on your YouTube channel, like you would do probably with this podcast. But like, let's just say you own a product company, and like, here's a product use case for my product on YouTube, and you push it out on YouTube, and why somebody would do that, and and there's a lot of strategies around how you title the video and the content and how to make sure it shows up in search, and you can do a bunch of research on that. YouTube's huge. YouTube advertising is also huge. You can push like, you've seen those 30-second videos that everybody hates.
Yeah. The clips that you all want to subscribe and pass,
Trying to like skip. So the cool thing about YouTube is there's videos. If somebody doesn't watch 30 seconds of that video, you don't pay for that impression.
Cool.
That's what's cool about YouTube ads. You're only paying when somebody watches the video.
And of course, if they watch the full 30 seconds, they're interested in whatever it is that you're pitching.
Right. Unless they're just doing something else and the video's playing, of course. But You're only paying versus Facebook and Instagram, you're paying on the impression. It's just showed, even if somebody scrolls past it, it's shown, you paid for it. YouTube, if they watch it, they pay for it. So that's really cool there. But you can really leverage YouTube, your YouTube channels, to becoming the expert. And that's what everybody should be striving to do. Why should somebody do business with you? Because you're the expert. You're the best. Like, I'm gonna go see you, Shauna, because you're the best. Because, I have personal experience, but you're the best because you're doing these things, you're the expert, you're pushing out content. That's why they would come do business with you.
And that's basically what you just said about the group in Facebook as well. You're creating the group and then positioning yourself as the expert. So really what I'm hearing from you, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or any of these other things, we're almost falling back on our human psychology of, I want to do business with people that I like, that I think you're smarter than me, so I'm going to come to you because I want to learn from you, all of these things.
Yes, nailed it. Right.
Okay, very cool. Right. So obviously you're a good teacher because I just nailed it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and it comes down to, psychology. You're going to know, like, and trust somebody, I'm going to do business with you. There's some saying about people do business with people for 3 reasons, whatever, but I don't know what they are. But that was part of it. They got to trust you is the big part of it. Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Okay. So very last thing for our listeners. If you could only do one stream of something, ooh, I'm getting a face. If you could only do one out of all the millions of ways that you could do, what would you do?
Oh, man.
Tough question.
It changes. Like right now, I'm on Facebook 100%. If I didn't spend another cent, it was just Facebook. In general, the page, the group, the ads, the funnels, everything lives there. The messenger bots, which we didn't even talk about, I would live in that platform today. Okay. 5 years from now, golly, 8 years ago I was 100% into email because that works, and now I'm on Facebook. But where else would I go? See, I don't even know. You don't know that answer.
So how do people find out? Like, for example, I asked you, okay, so is everybody fleeing Facebook? And you're like, no, right? Yeah. So how do people find out when to switch to start moving into LinkedIn or to start moving into YouTube? Like, how do you know those trends?
Well, if you're in it and you're actively marketing, you're going to see trends happening. Your return on investment starting to dwindle, or until you start losing money, that's when you start making those hard decisions. I don't think you know going into it until you test, right? So if somebody's fresh to the market, they've never done Facebook ads, you won't know if it works or if you don't until you do it. But let's just say you're doing it for a year, and in January it was awesome, and now in December you're not making any money. Well, there's your answer. You should probably look somewhere else. And so
without the systems, you're not even going to know that. So again, it goes back to you, because you keep mentioning ROI, right? You have to have a system to track your ROI to even know whether you should do it or not.
Yeah, you have to know the path of travel that person takes. And we always look at client lifetime value, because maybe it costs me $1,000 of marketing to get one client, and maybe I don't make enough money. Maybe I don't make that money back until year 2, but I know the lifetime value is going to be a $5,000 return on investment. Over time, is it worth me losing money on the front end to acquire a client? It just depends on your cash flow. The one thing I would say is this one thing right here, and this is what makes the most sense for a lot of people. If I had a piece of gold in my hand, and it was worth $3,000, and I said, I'm going to sell this to you today for $700, would you buy it?
Of course.
Yes. That's the way you got to look at marketing. Your client lifetime value is that piece of gold. If that client's worth $3,000 to you, you know that because your numbers tell you that over your time. You have to know how much you'd be willing to spend to acquire that client. And that, for me, it's about 3 months of revenue is what I feel comfortable with in my gym to acquire a client. So if my clients pay us $300 a month to be a personal training client here, I'll spend up to $900 to acquire that client. And acquiring it doesn't necessarily mean advertising to acquire. It might mean incentivizing the deal on the front end. They're in front of me. Will I be willing to buy that client by giving them more supplements and more training just to know that I own the client, if you want to call it that? Yeah. The more clients that you have, the less clients your competitors have, because you're taking them out of that market. And so you have to be willing to play that game. The person or the company that's willing to profitably spend the most to acquire a client will win.
And there you go. And there you go.
Profitably.
Oh, well, yes, profit tends to be good. Profit is a good thing.
I've seen some business go negative just to take the clients off the table for their competitors. I've seen that too.
Well, and maybe if you have enough cash flow, I think that's, as you were saying, you've got to have the cash flow to be able to play the game. And so, really what I'm hearing from the number standpoint is you do need to build spending some money into your budget, because if you're going to start a business, earlier we were talking about a W-2 person and doing the hobby and having it on the side. If you're going to start a business, you need some money. You need to kind of have an idea of what this is until you can test it and until you can see whether or not your return on investment even worked.
Right. And that's probably the mistake what people make the most, and the 80% fail. They don't have that reserve.
Yep. So. And a part of it, as you said, investing in coaches. So speaking of which, tell us more about the TwoComa Club. So did I get that right, TwoComa? Tell us all about it, because I'm seeing your 2 little words back there in the corner, and I'm like, tell us, I want to know, tell us everything.
Okay, so the TwoComa Club award is done by a software called ClickFunnels. It just happens to be the software that we use, and they award any business that's done 7 figures in a 12-month period through their software. That doesn't mean that you don't make revenue outside of their software, but they're tracking their software. This business, Profit, you did 7 figures. Here's your great award. Now that's like an award a lot of people want, because it's very prestigious in that world. Okay, if you're not in that world, it doesn't make sense. But what does make sense is $1 million makes sense to a lot of people. And again, that's front end revenue or gross revenue. It's not net. I mean, being net, that would be. You can make $1 million net in digital product sales, 100%, because it doesn't cost you anything to fulfill on those. So, how do you get to that point? Well, for us, it was a lot of had to do with the systems and scaling over time. We found the niche, we found the solution for the problem, and we pushed everything into getting there. So, I've been approached a million times. I want one of those too. Like, how do I get there? And so we created this academy that's just a 90-day straight hardcore coaching with 3 other coaches. There's, I think, 7 TwoComa Club awards between the 3 of us. So I have 2 of them, and the other 2 have, one has 4 and one has 1. So there's a lot of knowledge in this group, but it's TwoComaSuccess.com, TwoComaSuccess.com. And that's just our group. Any business could be in there. As long as we feel like we could help you, there's an application process. It's not cheap. It's $7,500 for the 3 months, or you can pay, $10,000 over the 3 months. So you can pay it monthly. But that's just a group that we're going to do weekly calls, weekly one-on-ones. We're going to do this whole thing with you. We're going to make sure that this is dialed in, the whole systems are all buttoned up, and so you know exactly how to get there. And so our goal with these students is just get your business to where it's working for you, and you can scale it to 2 comma or more.
I love it. I love it. I love people who are passionate about what they do. They're rock stars in their businesses. So thank you so much for being here with us today. So information, I've got, what's the website? Where do you want people to go and learn more about you other than your 2Comma Success Club?
You know, I tell you what, just shoot me an email. That's the easiest way. Tim@pfmarketingsolutions.com. That's P as in Paul, F as in Frank, marketingsolutions.com. That's my email. If you want to find me on Facebook, it's facebook.com/Timothy Lyons Jr. It's long, Timothy Lyons Jr. Friend request me. Just say that, hey, I heard you on the show or whatever, and happy to chat with you. Anything I could do to help. Like, I've just gone this whole route of just helping people more in like the last 6-7 months, and it's just returns awesome. Everybody's happy. Everybody's coming. I get more business from it. It's beautiful.
Yay! And we love good karma. Helping people is good karma. So this is good stuff. I love it, Tim.
It is. Yeah, for sure.
Dig it. Okay. Very, very last piece of advice. So we're wrapping it up. What is the last piece of advice?
Oh, that just blanket advice?
Blanket advice about life in general.
Let's see. Last piece of advice. If your business is broken, it could probably be fixed. You just need to find the people that have done the things that you want to do, and just learn from them. Ask for help. Be humble. I know as business owners and entrepreneurs, you're on your islands by yourself a lot of times, and so you're not surrounded by a bunch of people supporting you, and usually you're on your own. Maybe it's you and you're by yourself in your business. You're trying to support your family. There's people out there, the Shaunas, myself, like people out there willing to help you. It's not the end of the world. Like, everybody's been in a rut. I've felt like I was going to close the doors. I don't know how many times when I was first starting out. The best piece of advice is to find the people that are doing what you want to do, or not even in the same industry, but just are successful people, because typically they've already done all the brain damage to get to where they are. You're just going to buy speed. You're going to buy the answers, or they're going to give it to you for free. So just reach out and just ask for help sometimes, guys. That's it.
Dig it. Dig it. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today, Tim. Fireside Chat listeners, if you enjoyed today's chat as much as I did, please show Tim and his company, Profit Marketing Solutions, some love. Share today's show with anyone who appreciates being a passionate business owner and entrepreneur, especially gym owners. Make sure you're sharing today's show. So, Tim, thank you again for chatting with us. And for all of our listeners, we're going to be back again next month on May 29th, but don't fret, you can always find us on podcast sites like iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Google Play. And while you're there, please love the show, rate, review. We'd love to get you guys' feedback on all of this. So let us know what you think about the show, and of course, what you want to hear about next. So you can reach out to me on Twitter @taxgoddess.com, or of course, Tim, as he said, in Facebook or email. And if you have any questions about the show, feel free to reach out to our producers at taxgoddesslive@taxgoddess.com. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day.
See you guys.
Bye.